Alright guys, how you doing? We're back to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch. And we're back where we left off. I've decided we're gonna go and get to that tower across this raging river. Slightly raging river. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to... There's a couple rocks about halfway across the river. Now maybe if I go upstream a little bit. I walked right through a flower as I was walking up the stream, and the flower disappeared and then reappeared about 10 feet in front of me. I'm gonna try to walk and touch it again. The flower disappeared into the air in a bunch of leaves, and it reappeared on one of the little rock islands that I'll have to get to cross the river. And I touched it and it reappeared again, even further out into another rock halfway across this river. Let me try to... As I suspected, I'm going so slow crossing this river. There's no way I made it. No. The river's pushing me downstream away from the flower. And my energy was at half. But I made it to another little rock island halfway across this river. And now I have to make it I'm halfway here. May as well keep going. And I see fish in the water. It looks like a bass or something. Maybe I can grab it. I did. It's a Hyrule bass. An ordinary fish that can be found all over Hyrule. It can be eaten raw, but cooking it amplifies its healing benefits. And when the game whenever Link picks up something, the game will read him the description. A black window appears in the middle of the game, and it pauses all the action except for the environmental elements. So the water is rushing by Link as he is underwater, like he's jumping in the water, and he's just frozen in state. It looks really crazy. And then he floats to the top. His energy bar reveals that he's losing energy, and now he's back to where we jumped off from. Alright, I'm gonna try to get to the tower, but man, this river is really giving me problems. So I'm probably... it's gonna take me downstream. There's no way I can make it. It's gonna take me downstream a little bit. Oh, can we make it? Our energy's at half, and I'm making a beeline directly towards the tower. Will I make it? I'm at 25%. 20%. 10. Oh, the energy bar got red, and I just made it. Dueling Peaks Tower. Dueling Peaks Tower. It's a very fitting name for this mountain. And the rock that I climbed towards that I've reached, it's projecting out of the water towards the tower, that Dueling Peaks Tower that we just discovered. And from it I'm gonna jump and try to... I made it. I managed to grab onto the grid-like structure that allows Link to climb the side of the tower. My health is my energy is at 75%, and I made it to the first landing so Link can catch his breath. Link jumps up and grabs the grid pattern on the tower. The center of this tower has a center pole with decorative hot orange red lines and carvings intricately designed along the pole, and the grates are along the are surrounding the pole, but it's not touching it. It's a hexagonal grate surrounding the pillar in the middle, and Link is just going up the side of the pillar, and then he stops again at a third landing to catch his breath. As we look up, we see that the only next time we're gonna land might be the top of the tower. Link continues to climb this tower, and I'm gonna take a break right there and look around, and we really are high up in the air. But to my right, I can see that the mountain peaks are still way up above us. Of the Dueling Peak mountaintops, that mountain peak is really far off. And actually, I thought I could make it straight to the top, but no, I had to use another landing just to make sure I don't run out of energy while climbing. As Link climbs, you can see sweat flying off of his head, and I made it to the top, and I reached the stalactite. I examine it. Link puts his tablet in the center of the stalactite, and it says Sheikah Tower activated. It rotates, and now the camera pulls back away from the tower and shows us a stunning view of Dueling Peaks mountains, but doesn't even show us the very top, while the tower goes from orange to a blue glow. Scanning area. The stalagmite from the top glows blue, and ancient writings are seen coming from the top, and it disappears, and it generates a drop that landed on the tablet, and it shows us the map of Hyrule, and it shows us that we've now unlocked a new part of the map. Regional map extracted, it says. Sheikah Slate updated. Additional functionality detected. Sheikah sensor. Searching for shrines. The sensor reacts when you are close to a shrine that you have not yet visited. If you head in that direction where the reaction is strongest, you should find the shrine. You can enable or disable the Sheikah sensor with Y on the map screen. Sheikah sensor now operational. The sensor indicator has been placed near the minimap. Search for shrines by moving in the direction with the strongest signal. And now, right above our temperature gauge, next to our minimap, is a icon that looks like a Wi-Fi icon or a signal icon. And whenever we get close to a shrine, it'll give us a notification, which is very interesting. As I stand at the top of this tower, I see Mount Doom off in the distance, looking very ominous with its dark clouds. See the castle surrounded by a hot pink energy, very creepy. There's something flying way off in the distance over there. I don't even know what that is. More mountains, desert mountains, cold mountains. The tower we activated on the plateau. And this is all far off in the horizon. Alright, so now that you hear that noise? That noise was a shrine nearby. Alright, so now that we have unlocked this tower, let's continue on our journey. Oh, we have to look at the map now. because we unlocked our map. Alright, let me describe the map in as much detail as I can. If this map was a chessboard, and on the top part it was white, and on the bottom part is black, and it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. We would be around the H. We're in the lower center part. We would be about H 5, I want to say. I'm gonna look up a chessboard diagram. Alright, we would be at about 3D. Alright, so it's like a graph. It starts at the bottom. The bottom left is 1, and it goes up to 8 on on the left side, and on the bottom is A, and it goes all the way to K. So right now we would be in square 3D is where we started at. That was the Great Plateau, and then we traveled east, and now we are in 3E, if that makes any sense. So that's where we are. And everything else, all the entire chessboard is still unexplored. So that just shows you how much we have left to look for. And I just unlocked, whenever the Sheikah sensor unlocked that tower, we unlocked that tower, it showed 3, so we already had 3D unlocked. It unlocked 3E and 3F on the map. I can explore anywhere, like it's not like there's invisible walls anywhere, but it's just what I unlocked on the map, so I can see. And as I explore around the map where we just unlocked, I can see that we are that river is called the Squabble River, and the peak that looks like where the mountain broke in two, it's called the Dueling Peaks. And I see our destination where we have to go. It's north of where we are currently. We can either follow the road between Dueling Peaks, and then we take a left, and then we end up at where our quest wants us to go. Or I can go directly north and not even go along the road and go over a place called the Marble Ridge, and then I'll probably have to go by Saharsara Slope, and then I'll end up where we need to go. But I'll stick to the road. To the road. So I jumped off the tower, and I flying in the direction of the opposite side of the river, where so we just crossed the river. I want to cross back across the river while flying. Makes it easier. And we landed in a bush right next to a goat, and the goat rammed me with his horns, and he damaged half a heart. Not cool. Apparently there's a shrine nearby. That's that noise. I scared 3 birds, and they flew away. I have to cross the river somehow. But 3 lizards in the river noticed me, and they shoot water at me. They damaged me for half a heart. Yes, I'm running away. So I jumped in the river, and I don't know if this is a good idea, because there's another monster in the river that's spitting rocks at me. I'm down to 2.5 hearts. 2 hearts. 1.5 hearts. They keep wagging me. This creature keeps wagging me. And now I'm climbing. I made it across the river. I made it across the river, and now I made it to the shrine while this creature was still throwing rocks at me from the river. And he keeps throwing rocks at me from the river. I really want to shoot an arrow at him, but I'd rather not. And now my health is down to 1 heart. So I'm going to examine the shrine. I'm going to walk into the shrine, examine it again. Link looks around and the platform lowers itself. Map stamps. You can stamp the map on your Sheikah slate with reminders of important discoveries, like the location of a cooking pot or something unusual you want to remember. And he walks away from the elevator, and we see we're in a large room. To you who sets foot in this shrine, I am Ridahi. In the name of Goddess Hylia, I offer you this trial. Timing is critical. Ridahi Shrine. Alright, so right in front of Link is a button that he can jump on. And that lowers a platform that's suspended. Is it suspended? Yeah, this platform is suspended in air. And what it does is it lowered itself. It lowered its right side and it raised its left side. And what that did is it dropped a ball, an iron ball, into a pit that activated that noise. And it made a platform come back and forth. So I'm gonna hop on that platform. And now it's moving me across the valley that I couldn't jump over anything. And now I'm at the other side. Now I'm gonna step on this other button that they have here. And this one does the same thing. It raises the left side of a platform and drops the right side of that same platform. But this time, the platform on the bottom of it is attached to the platform above it, but at a different angle. It seems like I was standing on a platform that I activated. Oops. So Link seems to have fallen to his death. Alright, it's gonna restart me at the beginning of the shrine. No problemo. Alright, so remember this, the first floating, should we call it a, yeah, I'm just gonna call it a platform. I'm gonna call it a bridge, because it's just a really long, narrow bridge, and it's got a ball on it, and it's gonna flip about 15 degrees on its x-axis, and that lowers the ball into the pit. It's an orange ball. As soon as it touches the pit, it glows blue. And now the moving platform reaches my side. Link hops onto it. And now we made it to the other side. And now I see the these two bridges are like an equal sign, but the lower equal sign is, its right side is cocked up a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean about 4 feet, because these bridges are substantial in size. Alright, so I stepped on the platform and I let go of the platform at a time that is appropriate enough so that the ball that falls off the top of the bridge is able to land on the bottom bridge without rolling off the back of the bottom bridge. And now I made it to the top bridge. The platform took me to the top bridge, and I take a narrow pathway down to another button that Link stands on, and this one will drop a ball. Yeah, alright, so this one activates a bridge which will lower the bridge on its x-axis by about 20 degrees, and it drops a ball, and the ball falls. The ball will land on the left side of the bridge, and it develops enough momentum, and it keeps going down, and it falls into the vacuum that is nothing down there. So I have to time it properly as the ball lands on the bridge, and these balls come from a seemingly endless supply of balls coming from the ceiling, from a little tunnel that's attached to the ceiling. So the ball lands right now, and I let go of the platform, and the platform returned to its level self, and the ball fell into the ground. So I'm going to try it again, but let's get a little bit more speed so the ball can land. Perfect. So the ball can land across the little gap into the pit, and it went from orange to blue, and it activated the platform that I'm going to hop onto right now. And this takes me up to the bridge that I was just controlling. And there's a way I can get this. There's a box up here, like a treasure chest. But I think I'm gonna have to go back there with something. I don't know. Alright, we're gonna talk to the meditating monk. Are all these monks different? I'm looking at this one, and this one has his left hand and his right hand meeting, like he's holding a ring in front of you and he wants to show you, and it's suspended between both of his hands, but both of his hands are in front of his chest facing each other. That was probably a poor description. And he's got like a rice hat, and yeah, he's sitting in the lotus position. I don't know if they're all the same. I'm just trying to notice. Alright, so I'm going to examine the monk, or the guy in meditation. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a hero. In the name of Goddess Hylia, I bestow upon you this spirit orb. Spirit orb, a symbol of courage given to those who have overcome the obstacle. May the goddess smile upon you. Cryonis. Use this power to create a pillar of ice on the water surface. Such pillars can be used, and it's done loading. And I'm back to how we entered. The river flowing, and I'm on the top of a little like a little cliff on the side of the mountain, and I can see the river about 20 feet below me. So I'm just gonna jump off this, and I'm gonna glide towards up the road where we were going. And I can see that creature that was throwing things at me, throwing rocks at me in the middle of the river. I can see him over there. There's a shrine nearby. That's what that noise means. Oh man, right in front of me, right in front of my path is a troop of 4 bokoblins. I don't see a blue one, so I think I can beat him up. Let me make sure I have the proper weapons, the proper shield. Maybe I can beat him up with bows, with a bow and arrow. Oh, maybe I'll use my remote bomb. I'm gonna activate my remote bomb, the blue orb. And I'm gonna throw it at the pack. Alright, so there was a blue one in the pack. I just didn't notice. And I threw a blue thing at them, and they're gonna inspect the blue bomb, the blue remote bomb. They're all surrounding the blue remote bomb. They're very curious about it. I'm gonna playing soccer with it. I'm gonna blow it up. I just blew it up, and I almost killed one. And now I'm hiding right behind a rock. And I pulled out the remote bomb again. I'm gonna throw it again. Ooh, this is so creepy. Alright, so the blue bokoblin was like 4 feet away from me, and I threw a remote bomb to distract them, and they keep focusing on the remote bomb. So this is really great. While I hide behind this rock, which is 20 feet away from their camp, which is awesome. Will they go into the water? No, they won't go into the water to see if they can catch my remote bomb. I keep throwing these remote bombs because it's awfully effective. Alright, let's throw it one more time. Alright, maybe they aren't that effective because, man, they got a lot of health left. Uh-oh, I seem to be attracting their attention real close to me. Uh-oh. Man, I'm about to just attack them with my sword. Let me just throw that last one. Oh, they're on me. Oh, snap. They're throwing arrows my way. One almost whacked me. Oh man, that remote bomb. He walked right by it. I detonated it. I whacked him once. Oh, my shield, my traveler's sword broke. So I'm gonna pull out a bokoblin arm. And the blue one hit me real hard, and now I'm down to half a heart. I'm gonna eat some food if I have any. I have some spicy sauteed peppers. I'm gonna eat them all, and they restored my heart completely. I'm gonna need another weapon. I have a boko club I'm gonna equip, and I whack the bokoblin that had a spear. He actually had a pretty legit spear, and I pick it up. Throwing spear. It has an attack power of 6. A specialized spear weighed to excel as a throwing weapon. It's perfectly balanced to be thrown further than your average spear, able to pierce targets from a great distance. And we'll go over that in a little bit. Bokoblin horn. There seems to be a lot of things they dropped, but they all fell in the river. Spiked Boko Shield. It has a defense of 10. A Boko Shield made of slightly stronger wood and reinforced with animal bones. Oh, there's one bokoblin left. I didn't notice, and he's the one who's launching spears at me, or is launching arrows. I whacked him, what was that, 3 or 4 times with a bokoblin club, and it destroyed these bokoblins. Bokoblin horn. Bokoblin horn. And I unlocked the treasure chest. at the top of the tower, and it gave me a boomerang with an attack power of 8. This throwing weapon was originally used by the forest-dwelling Koroks. Its unique shape allows it to return after being thrown. That's pretty nifty. And all these bokoblins, they left a lot of shields and boko clubs, and actually there's a lot of arrows that they were launching my way, and apparently you can pick those up. But I'm not gonna pick up the shield and clubs. It'll just take a lot of room in my inventory. Famous last words, right? Watch, I'm gonna need a couple clubs in a little bit. We're getting awfully close to a shrine. As I reached the end of that entire time, we were between the dueling peaks, and those peaks, this mountain is so tall I can't even see the top of it from inside of this the valley between the mountains. So as we reach the end of it, there's a little bridge that crosses the river. What is the river called? The Squabble River. There's a tiny little bridge that crosses that river, and the opposite side of where I'm at right now, there's a tower that's really tall. It looks like it's a 3-story tower, and at the top is just a box at the very top. I wonder what's at the very top of that. But I hear that shrine calling my name. Alright, I see it. It's just to the left. As soon as I got out of the that valley, it's to the left. But it's surrounded by a little river. It's like a little lake, a little pond. So the shrine is inside a little pond, and surrounding the entrance is a bunch of spiked sticks. So that's going to prevent me from entering this shrine in particular. And right across from the shrine is a tent that has a animal head at the top of it, but the animal head has been made out of large pieces of wood and siding, like panels and different objects to make it look like a donkey head type of thing, with its neck as well. And at the very bottom of it is a very it's almost like a circus tent, but not as large. And I see a wagon underneath the tree, some haystacks covered up with some tarps, and it's very carnival-esque in appearance. But I really want to get into that shrine. So how can I get into that shrine? Maybe if I climb this mountain peak over here. No, it's not really a mountain peak, it's more like just a... If I climb 30 feet up here... Oh, look, a mineral. No, I can't destroy that mineral with a vocal club. I think I'll be able to glide into the shrine from up here. Let's see if I can do it. Because I'm about 30 feet above the shrine. I'm about 30 feet above the shrine's entrance, but I'm about 30 feet away. So I'm 30 feet above and I'm 30 feet away. So maybe if I run and jump towards the entrance, I could probably glide over there and make it. Let's see. I think I'm gonna make it. Hadar Hamar Shrine. I made it. Alright, so it activated. And now we're gonna examine the platform. And down we go. Training your horse. Horses that you have just caught won't listen to much of what you tell them to do. The more time you spend adventuring with your steed, the better behaved it will become. I'm guessing horses are about to appear or something. Alright, so now we're at a... To you who sets foot in this shrine, I am Hadar Hamar, the water guides. Hamar Shrine. Alright, so we're inside a long tall, narrow room. Um, we're on it's an L-shaped little piece of real estate that we're standing on, and at the very tip of the L, the long L, is a waterfall that comes. If I saw this waterfall randomly, I'd be like, that's a very expensive to build waterfall, because it's clearly a man-made waterfall. Because inside these shrines, the walls are they're huge tiles. So this is an entirely man-made structure that I'm in, and there's water pouring about the width of one tile from the very, very, very top, and it creates a little pool. And I think I can make if I get my cryosis, I think I can make a platform. Yeah, I made a rectangle of ice pop out of the pool that the waterfall was creating, and I climbed that, and now I'm at the slightly elevated platform that exposes me to another waterfall. But this waterfall has no pool where the water that the waterfall is pouring is congregating in. So I'm going to activate my cryosis on the waterfall itself, and it creates a jutting out rectangular, actually this is a square, yeah, this is more square than rectangle, piece of ice out of the waterfall, and it doesn't fall down or anything, it just floats right where it came out of the waterfall. That's where it's coming out of. Very interesting. So I'm going to jump on it, see if I can climb it without falling down to my death, or I can just make another block of ice at a slightly lower level, and that's a little easier if you ask me. So I climbed it and I crossed it. So now I reached these little steps, and now there's 1, 2, 3 more steps. And these are huge steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have about 15 steps. Each staircase has about 3 steps, or 15 steps, and there were 3 staircases. So that's a lot of staircase. All right. So that waterfall stuff ended, and now I'm in this massive room with the 3 staircases along the left side, and on the right side there seems to be where those balls come from, but these are huge balls. These are like magnet balls or something. Come from you know, those balls, they come from the tube that's projecting from the ceiling, and it goes down onto a 45 or 25 degree incline, so the ball falls onto another platform that has a little gap between it, and then it falls to its eternal doom. But I notice on the far side there's a waterfall. Like, the far side wall is nothing but water. So if I strategically place several, or if I activate my cryosis strategically, I'll be able to stop the ball from rolling away into its eternal doom. So if I can control it, the ball will fall into the bowl over here, and I think once that orange ball falls into the orange highlighted ball falls into the orange highlighted bowl, it'll turn blue and activate the opening or something. So I put a cryosis block strategically to stop the ball from rolling onto the second platform. But there's actually a third platform underneath the second platform that pivots in the middle along its y-axis. Yeah, so it moves. It moves like how a bird flaps its wings. That's how it moves. But it can't. It's like just a straight piece of 2x4, and someone put a piece of pipe right in the middle of it, So it'd be 4 feet on one side and 4 feet on the other side. But someone put a pipe right down the center of it, not lengthwise, but hamburger style. I need to get a little diagram to tell me what the x-axis and y-axis are. But all right, so I'm gonna create another cryosis block underneath the left side of the seesaw, and that stops the left side of the essentially the 2x4 from falling down. So now the ball makes it really close to the bowl, but it doesn't make it quite close enough. It seems to be just short. But luckily for us, we can make 3 cryosis blocks without destroying anyone. So I'm gonna make another cryosis block where I think it's gonna nudge the ball just into the bowl, and it did. Then the ball rotates, rings around the hole, and now it's in. And it did open the door. Alright, and now if we continue playing with our cryosis, we'll notice that we can only make 3 without destroying the final one. So if we try to make 4 cryosis blocks, it's not possible because it only allows us to have 3. So as soon as you make the 4th one, it destroys the last one you've made. So you made 3, 1, 2, 3. It's going to destroy 1. You know. All right. So we're making our way down the triple staircase, down into another descending bridge, and into the room we just unlocked. And we see the meditating monk. Let's examine him. Link touches the blue rectangle, and it explodes into a million shards of blue spaghetti. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a hero. In the name of Goddess Hylia, I bestow upon you this spirit orb. Oh yeah, he's got a little different stance. His right hand is crossed over his heart, and his left hand is on his left leg. This monk in particular. Spirit orb. Now we got 3 of these. Yeah, all these monks are a little different. Their postures are all a little bit different. May the Goddess Hylia smile upon you. And he disappears. And even the way the green stuff disappears is always different. Horse temperaments. Trying to force a rowdy and untamed horse to speed up will likely result in you being tossed to the ground. And we're out of the shrine, and it's morning time in Hyrule. The spikes that surrounded this shrine are now gone. I believe it's because we unlocked the shrine completely. So now the shrine is completely blue. I'm gonna go examine the circus carnival thing building. I see a traveling man. Come on over, he says. And his bag is so big. His backpack looks like a huge beetle. It's about his backpack is about 10 feet tall, but this guy is carrying it. He's got a flag with his face on it. He's got a little shade that's attached to his backpack over his head, like a little awning. He's got lots of little decorations all over the place, bags, random herbs, and baskets full of apples, I believe. His sleeping bag is on top of his backpack. Very uniquely dressed individual. And he has a shirt on, but it exposes his tummy. He's got a belt, pretty wide belt, and he's got like old school, some people would say, are those old school slippers? No, I think those are boots. And man, he's just a very unique individual. His nose is bright red. I don't know what's going on there. And he's got freckles. And his nose is, I mean, it's just a good time. So let's talk to this guy, see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't believe I've made your acquaintance. His name is Beetle. And he dropped down a, I don't know where he got that from, but he dropped down a table that's now across his waist. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's got banners coming from the table. The name's Beetle, but you can call me, actually let's just stick with Beetle. But even if you get my face, you can remember me by my beetle shaped backpack. Yeah, his name is spelled Beetle, Beedle. Despite these dangerous times, you'll find me traveling all over Hyrule to fulfill your shopping needs. I stock many special bugs and must-have items for travelers, and I always charge a fair price, or my name is not Beetle. I also buy all sorts of things. If you're in need for rupees, gemstones in particular fetch a high price. How can I help you today? And it gives me an option. What have you got? Look what I've got, or goodbye. Let's look at what have you got. I'm sure I have something you'll find useful. Please have a look. And he sells arrows for 6 penya, or what is it? Rupees? 6 rupees. 5 arrows for 30 rupees. He's got restless crickets for 10 rupees. Hot-footed frog for 10 rupees, and he's got an octo balloon for 20. And all these items do something different, I'm assuming. So that's pretty cool, but I can't afford any of it because I only have 1 rupee. Thanks for the business. Did you need anything else? Look what I've got. I'm gonna select that one. What would you like to sell? Oh wow. Okay, I could actually sell some of this stuff. My Hylian shrooms fetch me a price of 3 rupees each. Apples go for 3 rupees. Bokoblin horns go for 3. Choo-choo jelly go for 5. Let's see, what's the most expensive item I have? Ancient gear. They go for 30. And amber goes for 30 as well. Very interesting. I'm not interested in selling or buying anything, so I'm going to tell him goodbye. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again soon, he says while he clasps his hands together and rocks them back and forth across his body. Very interesting, man. Oh, and he pulled the tray from the awning that's above his head. Like I said, very interesting, man. So I'm approaching the I'm gonna call it a Dueling Peaks stable. So it's a stable. That's what this place is. There's someone outside, a young lady who looks a lot like Link, sitting by a fire outside. Let's talk to her. Her name is Sagessa. Hello there. Don't see a whole lot of travelers passing through here. You know, with how peaceful it is around here, it's sometimes easy to forget that the world's almost ended years ago. But there are still monsters wandering around. The area near Hyrule Castle is especially dangerous. If you're going to be traveling, you should know a thing or two about elixirs. So I should say elixirs? Question mark. Or I know all about them. I'm gonna say elixirs? Question mark. You can make elixirs by mixing bugs and other small creatures with monster parts. Most of them are no good for refilling your health, but they can have a lot of unique effects. Some elixirs can increase your speed. Others raise your resistance to extreme temperatures. I'm actually impressed that you've made it this far without any knowledge of elixirs. I can't have it on my conscience if something happens to you from here, so I'll give you one of mine. Hasty Elixir. Grants a low-level haste effect, which boosts your movement speed while running, swimming, or climbing. And it's a 2-minute, 10-second buff. special abilities last for 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and it comes in a blue bottle with a yellow tag on it, and it's got a brown cork at the top of it. Using a hasty elixir increases your run speed, so I use it to escape from enemies or anytime I need to hurry. The recipe is just high tail lizard and monster parts, so I usually have a stock of 10 or so on hand. That's good to know. Let's see if we can make some food very quickly. To make food in this game, I'm not sure if they even. Let's see if we can make an elixir. Do we have any monster parts? And then we're gonna need some bugs or something, but we don't have any crazy critters. We just have a bass. I think we can cook the bass though. So if we hold the bass, which I'm doing right now, and I hold an apple as well, I'm gonna return to the game and I'm gonna cook. Because the girl was sitting right in front of the fire, and I'm gonna use it as well. And the food was, once I put it into the pot, because there's a pot above this fire. I should have mentioned that. The food in it started jumping around. It was a fish and a apple. They were jumping around, and then it said dun, 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 and then now I have a fish skewer. A simple dish made by cooking chunks of fresh fish on a skewer. Oh, and look, some apples. I ate one of those apples. It was nice and crisp. Don't you hate it when you bite into a soft apple? Alright, so I found 3 apples. Just above just some stuff that they left outside here by the horses. Oh man, I guess I'm gonna get a horse soon. And I found a bundle of sticks. They're called wood. A portable bundle of wood. You can use this to make a campfire if you have something to light it. And some more wood. An item, a farmer's pitchfork, a weapon. Its attack power is 7. It's a farming tool used to collect hay efficiently. It's light enough to be used by anyone. The 4 prongs are very sharp, and that's really what it is, just a 4-pronged pitchfork. Very basic. A wood handle, black prongs, and I think there's some tape wrapped around the it's the part closest to the prongs. Oh, and I can't carry any more melee weapons. My inventory seems to be full. So I'm gonna drop a torch, and I'm gonna drop a Boko spear, because those are my weakest items. So I pick up the farmer's pitchfork. There seems to be a dog back here just relaxing. There seems to be a goat farm or something here. There's four rams or goats just hanging out back here. I'm walking around the camp, the staple, and I see a rooster, but I don't want to pick up these roosters because I know how they act. Whenever you pick up a rooster in Legend of Zelda, you have got to throw it, and you got to throw it soon. Because if you don't, every rooster, I don't even know where these roosters come from, but those roosters will come flying out of every nook and cranny in this video game, and it will attack you. Sometimes you can use those roosters and you can stick it on monsters, and those roosters will attack. There's a gentleman out here who has a mustache and a unconnected beard, and he also has a haircut that has bangs. He has short hair on the back though, so it's more like a fade, but the hair on the top of his head is pretty long, and he has boots. He seems like a worn traveler, so I'm gonna talk to him. His name is Hino. Oh, sorry. I didn't notice you. I was a bit lost in thought there. I've been doing a rigorous research day and night to figure out the mystery of that blood moon. Blood moon? Link is gonna say.
No.
You don't know it? That's inexcusable. Listen up and I'll tell you about it. For 100 years now, every so often, when the clock strikes midnight, the sky turns red and a full moon rises. At that moment, monsters that have been previously defeated will come back to life. And that's what is known as the blood moon, he says as he clenches his fists and the camera changes angle. Why do the monsters return to life? Why does it only happen when the sky turns red? He says as he lowers his hands. No one really has the answer to those questions. It's a mysterious phenomenon. If you learn anything about the blood moon as you travel, be sure to come back and tell me. Alright, so now we're gonna go, I can give you directions, says some person by the stable. And I'm gonna talk to him. Welcome to Dueling Peaks Stable. What do you think of this place? Pretty nice, yeah? It might be hard to imagine now, but this place was nearly destroyed about 100 years ago. However, thanks to the blessing of the Dueling Peaks, everything is full of life again. Even the wild horses are back. There's a lot of energy in this place. So where are you headed? Both Kariko Village and Hateno Village are nearby. Kakariko Village. Wild horses? Kakariko Village? Hatano Village? So which one should I pick? I'm gonna pick wild horses. Huh? Did you not see any horses on your way here? I didn't. Certainly not as many as in years past, but there are still quite a few around. Horses in the wild are, well, wild. No one has trained or cared for them. If you manage to catch one, let my brother Tassarin know. He'll register the horse for you. My boys are well springs of information about horses, so feel free to pick their brains. Leave it to Rensa to tell you about the roads around this area. Karkirio Village? Let's learn about that. Kakiriko Village is the village where the Shika's clan lives. It's said that some time ago they had advanced techniques that were more powerful than anything anyone had seen. But that power put them at odds with the king at the time, and they were scattered across the land. Anyway, if you leave here and follow the road straight to the north, you'll find a big bridge. Cross that and keep following the path. You'll come to the Kakirioko village. Kakariko village. That's a hard word to say. Leave it to Rensa to tell you about the roads around this area. And I don't know anything about Hetano village, so I don't really want to. And so I'm gonna click goodbye. Everything looks just as it always has, but the effects of the great calamity still linger. For example, a lot of monsters come out at night, so be careful when the sun sets. I'm gonna go find a horse. What are they talking about? I'm gonna talk to these little kids that he said they know a lot about horses. Hey Shibo, you think this nosy guy right here is interested in horses? And these kids were outside of the stable, looking at a couple horses that are kept outside of the stable while they eat. Looks like it to me, Darton. Judging from his eyes, he's just itching to get onto the saddle. You're right, he's got eyes that just say like, nothing in this world matters to me except horses. That means we've got ourselves a customer. Howdy, Mr. Man. Welcome to Dueling Peak Stable. Or, welcome to the front of Dueling Peak Stable, I guess. You really can tell just by looking into his eyes. Bro, his head is just filled with horse stuff, right? That's right, just look at his eyes. Right now, in his head, it's all horses, 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 food, and horses, right? In that case, you should feel free to ask us anything at all about horses. Do you want to hear some tips to help you master your horse? Yay or nay? I don't think that's a joke, by the way. That's one of my dad's jokes. Oh, I didn't think of that joke. Alright, so catching a horse? Good horses. How do I train one? No, I'm fine. I'm gonna click catching a horse. Wild horses get scared easily, and if they notice people near them, they'll take off. Just sneak up on them from behind real slow. When you get good and close, grab them and jump on quick. If you crouch and sneak up quietly, they won't notice you. Crouch, just by pushing in the left joystick. Dad taught us a lot. Just leave the horse around to us. How do I train one? Is another question I'm gonna ask. They're really wild, so they'll run in different directions and buck here and there because they aren't trained yet. When that happens, you've got to soothe them. But Dad also said that just constantly soothing them won't do at all. The trick is to soothe them when they do what you want them to do. It's like saying thanks to them for a job well done. Hey mister, you get all that? Dad taught us a lot. Just leave the horsing around to us. And these little kids are adorable. They seem to have on, I don't know what kind of hats they are, but they look like I don't even know. Like I've never in my life seen a hat like that. It's it looks like an old. It looks very, very warm, like a Russian style hat that keeps your head super duper warm, but not really because it's cut up into a bunch of different parts. But it might be. I mean, and it's because it has like a mop fringe coming off the top part, like a beanie mixed with an old Russian hat that keeps you super warm, mixed with a Chinese hat that look kind of cool. And they have sideburns that are put into pigtails. So they have sideburn pigtails. They have gloves on that are brown, and they have shorts on. Just truly adorable little kids. And alright, good horses is another question I'm gonna ask. Horses with spots of them are even-tempered and easy to train. On the other hand, horses that are all one color, like straight black or white, are a bit more wild and harder to train. But a one-color horse has more stamina and runs faster, right? Dad said they're hard to handle at first, but if you spend a lot of time with a one-color horse, you'll be best buds. Dad also said that beginners should start with spotted horses. When I grow up, I'll ride a one-color horse though. Hey mister, you get all that? Dad taught us a lot. Just leave the horsing around to us. And I'm gonna say no, I'm fine. See ya, bye bye, take care now. See ya, bye bye, take care now. Alright. And I think we're getting close to the end of this one. I'm gonna save the game right here. And whenever we get back, we're gonna either look for a horse or make a beeline to we're gonna go north into Korokoko village or whatever to seek out Impa. So we're gonna have to go north, but to travel north we have to cross a river that crosses Lake Silena. So it's gonna be quite a little adventure there. Alright, I'm gonna save our game. Or we could look for horses. Apparently there's horses around here, which we're gonna have to register with this one guy we haven't talked to. And we could still explore inside this the tent. It's a big tent in there. I don't know what the stable. I haven't been inside there yet. But alright. I'm gonna save the game. Thank you for your time and everything. Have a great day.